Hello, and welcome to Penny for a Tale. This glorious Monday, as they say. And today we have an amazing guest, Peter Bryant of TSR Games. Amazing guy. Peter, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, as you said, I'm Peter Bryant of TSR Games. I sounds repetitive. Is there echo in here? No,
Slightly.
I'm a game designer, a writer, artist, and podcaster. So not one, but all four of those things. Um, and I'm here to talk to you about TSR and stuff and things and those types of things and stuff.
Everything encompassing that.
Yes.
So for anyone who is curious about what Penny for a Tale is, we are a TTRPG tabletop role-playing game stream show podcast, focuses on the new and the cool, and TSR and their somewhat new game, Top Secret, are definitely kind of on our radar. You can see the amazing box right here, a beautiful box set, which pretty much has everything you could ever need to run their top secret game. I love it. But I was talking to Peter a little bit earlier, and apparently you don't have a copy of this.
I don't. So, all right. So I said I would tell you the story. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what? And I was like, all right, I'll tell you why.
yeah. That's the
all
first thing I
right.
want to know.
All right. So I'm not actually one of the original designers of Top Secret. I've been working on it since it's been released. But I've been friends with Jason and James for years and years now, and they were um, they were looking for someone to help with the company because they're just things were growing, we were doing more
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and a number of years ago, Jason had brought me on as the director of new media. So what I was doing was the podcast network. So we have, I think it's 6 shows at this point in our podcast network,
Ooh.
and so I've been kind of running that. Now I don't run all the shows, obviously. No one has. I don't have time for that. But I basically I recruited shows, started shows up, programmed them, got people started, and said, "All right, now this is your show. Go for it." For most of them, one of them, Wargaming Recon, we brought in from the outside. He already
Mm-hmm.
had a show, and his show had been around forever.
Oh wow.
And I he was on another podcast network, and I was looking at the network, and he's a friend of mine,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, "Hey, man, you're the only person on your network at the moment. Like it was someone else's network." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Do you think that person would mind if being that it's not a network anymore, if you'd want to join our network?" And he's like, "Yeah, all right." So I asked the other guy's another friend of mine too, and he said, "Yeah, sure, no problem." He's like, "We're not really doing anything with the network anyway." So, but other than that, most of the shows on there are shows that I've had some responsibility in creating. Like the one, Spence is on Game School with James
Yeah.
Carpio. But anyway, at any rate, I was doing all the podcasting stuff, and I would help out from time to time with this and that. And just this past year, I've joined the team as a full on game design, like one of the main people there. I'm doing a lot of project management for him now as
Mm-hmm.
well. So so yeah, I never wound up with a box. And I mean, I have the PDFs and I've run it at conventions and stuff, but I just never. It's one of those things where, so I'm part of the company. So any box that goes out that doesn't get sold comes out of pocket. So if I don't need one,
That's fair.
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna take one. Let the company have that. But no, I mean that's kind of kidding. I mean, they obviously I could take one if I wanted to, but I just haven't needed one. They're cool. I really should get one before they're all gone. But
Yeah.
I don't think there's any trouble with that at the moment, which is sort of like a hint. There's some boxes sitting around
So people go grab it,
that need
right?
that need homes. No, but yeah. So that's why I don't have a box.
All right. So that was like one of the questions that came up during our kind of pre-conversation, but there has been a question burning in my head whenever I talk to someone about kind of the spy genre, and tangentially related to Top Secret. If there was a fight between Ethan Hunt, James Bond, and that one more, the guy, Jason Bourne, who would
Ooh,
win?
wow. Okay, so there's a lot of variables here. All right, first question:
All right.
whose movie are we in?
Ooh, it is a combination. Imagine if all the directors were on a
Okay.
council and they kind of had to produce one movie.
Right,
Um,
right. And they don't get the kibitz on who the winner is, right?
Correct.
On who
Yeah.
their winner is. Okay,
Yeah.
all
It,
right,
it
all right.
has to be whoever feels the most
All
likely
right,
to win.
all right. All right, fair enough. Um, wow. Okay. So when it comes to pure combat ability, both of them kick Bond's butt.
Yep.
Right. I'm sorry. I love Bond, but they both kick his butt. Um, Bond, damn it. All right. So, but Bond and Ethan outthink Jason Bourne
Yes.
usually. They
Yeah.
plan, they get that plan ahead thing. If they're thrust in a, oh God, what do I do situation, I got to give it to Bourne
Hmm.
because he's the best on the, like when things go crazy, he's the person who is going to win every time
Yeah.
if
He's the
things are
great
just thrown
think
out the
on your
window.
feet type of
Yep,
guy.
think on your feet. He's also tough as nails, but then again, so is Ethan. Ethan's tough as nails as well.
Hmm.
Man, if Bond has his gadgets though, that gives him the edge because neither one of the two. Well, no, Ethan he
Ethan
gets
has a lot
gadgets.
of
Yeah, he has
gadgets. He's a
gadgets.
gadget
He
man.
gets gadgets. He's gadgets. Oh man, I don't like Tom Cruise that much.
I know it's hard concerning that aspect because Tom Cruise.
I gotta say, oh goddamn, I gotta give it to him. I gotta give it to Cruise because not Cruise, but Ethan. But I gotta give it to Ethan because as the scene changes, he's the most adaptable. Like he's got the edge several times. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
there's at no point is he at a loss. Like he can think on his feet. He can plan ahead. He is tough and he has gadgets. So
He's like the perfect middle ground between these
yeah,
very two diametrically opposed like spies.
but
One's very natural, instinctual. The other is relies
but
on gadgets and charisma.
you put Ethan and Bourne in a small room with no gadgets or anything, and Bourne's gonna tear him up because even
Oh
even
yeah,
though Ethan's a good fighter, Bourne is the best fighter of them all.
he
He
is.
he'll beat the crap out of him, and Ethan will never even see it coming. It's gonna be so quick. So
It is so true.
so that's kind of a long answer, but that was a rough question. That
It
was a
was
rough
a rough.
question.
It's just something I always have in my mind whenever I talk about the spy genre.
Right.
Um, so yeah,
Oh, and
for
Bond has the luck stat like a mo.
he
I mean,
does.
nobody has the nobody has luck like he has.
Hmm. Have you guys
Yeah.
ever created these characters in the system of Top Secret?
Have not. I should. I should just as a fan thing, like because
Yeah,
obviously we couldn't, for copyright reasons, we couldn't release them. But
yeah.
if
Just call it like Teeth and Lunt.
yeah, we could do that. We could do. I will tell you this, Jason. So Jason Elliott,
Hmm.
he, I'm gonna rat him out a little bit. He's not a Bond fan. He does not like Bond.
Ooh.
Yeah. He loves spy stuff. No, he loves spy stuff. But he's just like, Bond is not a spy. He's the worst spy ever. He's like, what spy goes into a place and says, I'm Bond, James, and tells everybody his name?
He is.
It's
He
like,
is a bad one.
yeah. So yeah, he's not a big fan, but he does like Jason Bourne. I know he likes Mission Impossible, that whole
Yeah, and I
genre.
really like the newer Jason, like the 007. So like Casino Royale was, I
Hmm.
thought, amazing. Kind
Yeah,
of.
Daniel Craig is good. I like
Yeah.
Daniel Craig. It's funny because you know, the original books, Bond was not supposed to be pretty. Like he was actually
Huh.
supposed like a rough dude. Like he was kind of supposed to be um, kind of normal looking, but kind of
Yeah.
rough looking. Like he was rough and tumble. He wasn't. Roger Moore is like the antithesis of who James Bond really is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely think like Jason Bourne probably looks more like a double O, like a
Mm-hmm.
James Bond than the other predecessors because he look I forget the actor's name, but he just looks very normal.
Oh, which one? Oh, the new Bond or the last
Jason
Bond? No.
Bourne.
Oh, Jason
Yeah.
Bourne. Oh, that's Matt Damon.
Yeah, yeah.
Matt
Matt Damon.
Damon. Uh,
Damon.
Damon. Yeah. Uh, there was another spy I just saw recently. Jack Ryan. See, he's a whole nother
Oh yeah, with
level.
the guy from The Office.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't watched any of that yet, so I don't know how good
Yeah,
that is, but
I
it looks
watched
good.
one episode and I thought it was really good.
Okay,
Yeah, so
I'll have to
definitely
check
have
it
to
out.
check that out. But I think that's something that I would like to see covered. All of the awesome spies as character sheets.
Yeah, we just switch
Ooh,
the first letters around for their names. That would be good.
yeah. Resident Moon says Harrison Ford was the better Jack Ryan.
Okay, all right. Harrison Ford was a good Jack Ryan.
I don't
He
remember
was.
that
Yeah, all the president. Remember the he's the president of the United States.
yeah.
He was Jack Ryan.
Oh really?
Trying to remember. Yeah.
Is it Air Force? No,
Air Force. No,
that's
is that right? No, maybe I'm getting it wrong. I could be getting it wrong.
yeah.
Um,
If only there
I don't know.
was
I have to
some
look that up.
like way to
Way to
access
look
all
this
the
up
information. Oh,
in the
clear and
world.
present danger, Air
Danger.
Force
Yeah,
One.
yeah. So he was okay. So that's two movies, right? So right and for both. Okay. Yeah, Harrison Ford was a good Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
I don't know that he was the best Jack Ryan, but he was good.
Yeah, I really like the present Jack Ryan in the TV series. He kind of has a nerdy way about him, which is kind of
Mm-hmm.
endearing. So I'm curious to see how they kind of transfer him from like this desk jockey to more of the spy stuff throughout the series.
It's always interesting to me when they take an actor who's primarily like in a comedy type role, and then they become like an action star, and it works. Like if you watch him in The Office, you're like, nah, he's too goofy to be an action
I
star,
know,
right? But
right?
but he's good. Look at Bruce Willis, for Die Hard. I was watching the movies that made us, and yeah, it's similar to the toys that made us,
Yeah.
and they did Die Hard, and they were talking about how hated the idea. People were just like, there's no way Bruce Willis is going to pull this off. There's no, like, what are you getting this guy from Moonlighting to do an action adventure movie? Are you crazy? And then he sort of set the bar for other actors to be able, um, you know.
Yeah. And
Oh,
yeah, I think there was a slight.
why did my microphone change? Is it my microphone or your microphone? What is going
Mine's
on?
yeah, yours
Give me a
kind of
second. My computer's doing something here,
yeah, yours kind of
or
muted
your
for a
computer's
little
doing
bit.
something here. Somebody's computer's doing something here.
Yeah, I think it's magic.
Oh, what happened?
You're fine. Yeah. Yeah, and you're in. Everything looks good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear you. What the heck happened? What is going
Oh,
on with
man.
this? It's,
Please
it's,
be patient, folks, as we wait for our friend Peter Bryant.
there we
to
go.
come back
I don't
on.
know. I got it. My computer did something weird. Sorry.
It's Terminator stuff.
Like it just changed. The program just changed the headphones. I had to go fix them. Sorry.
That's weird. Yeah, it's no
I
problem at all.
wasn't doing anything. I swear. I'm a professional podcaster here.
we roll with the punches.
Yeah. That's live. Welcome to live.
Yeah, I know, right?
So you want to hear a funny live story? So I was doing Mythwits,
hmm
and we're in the middle of this interview. It's a great interview. Everything's going great, and everything died. And I was like,
Jeez.
I'm like, what is going on, right? And like I'm looking around, I'm like, I have no internet connection. Oh man, my internet went out. And I looked down at my dog, because I keep my dog in the office with me when I have podcasts, right? I looked down, and my dog, he was a little bit younger, had chewed through my network cable.
Ooh.
So my network cable he's going from the back of my computer up into my wall, right? It cut it right in half. I was just like, oh, you're killing me, dog.
Ooh. My first live stream, I had my kid on, and it was just like a test. But I was like, first live stream, and he has a
Right.
blowout right on me. And
Ooh,
yeah, it
nice.
was. I was like, okay, this is just kind of like the beginning of what I guess will be my shitty streams.
Right.
A good intro
Awesome.
for what it will be.
Yeah, we used to do, oh my God, we would do shows when I first started with Mythwits. We would do shows 2 hours, sometimes 2.5.
Nice.
And my God, there's all the things that can go wrong in 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Oh, the things. All right, but we are here to talk about
Yep.
TSR.
Sure. Yep.
Oh man, it's always interesting, like encountering people where you're like, oh, I could just talk to you about all the things for several hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the problem with podcasters. They love to talk.
Yeah, it's a bunch of yappy people.
Yep.
All right, so top secret, spycraft, in the New World Order. What was the kind of the first inkling that it was now time to bring back top secret and update it?
Okay, um, so Jason, this was Jason's idea. So
Mm-hmm.
Jason is a huge fan of Top Secret, right? He met Merle Rasmussen. I can't remember how many years ago it was. He told me but it was a long time ago. Merle was still. This was before Merle came back to game. Merle kind of took a little bit of a break from gaming for a while, and he came
Mm-hmm.
back. Before he came back, he was doing a panel somewhere, and Jason was the only one to show up to that particular panel. And this was in Iowa, and I think I want to say, God, it had to have been. I think Jason said it's like 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So here he is, and that's where Jason lived originally in Iowa. And he's like, here he is in this I don't know, like 18-year-old kid in Iowa. And he's the only person sitting there at Merle's panel. And he wound up he goes up to meet Merle, and he's talking to him and stuff. And they kind of struck it off as friendly. And then when the trademark for TSR came up it became I guess unlicensed or free or whatever the heck you call it.
Yeah.
Jason registered it, and he got with Luke and Ernie, so the original Gygaxes. He got with them, and they decided they were going to start TSR up together. And Luke and Ernie aren't part of it too much anymore, and they were never really like, or they weren't really like partners or anything, but they were part of it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And so Jason started Gygax magazine, and then that sort of went into a legal issue with Gale, because apparently they had both applied for a Gygax trademark at the same time, but Gale got it like a little bit earlier than him. I don't know. I think I went to court, and I think that's when Jason kind of focused on doing TSR, and he got in touch with Merle. And he wasn't going to do it if Merle wasn't involved. Like he's like,
Yeah.
I'd like to do this. He's like, but I'm not going to redo it if Merle's not involved. And so he got Merle involved. And then Merle said, well, I don't want to do it unless I can bring Alan in. So they got Alan in. So Alan and Merle, the two that originally did it,
Mm-hmm.
came on board. But they wanted to modernize it. So that's when Jason brought in James, and James is already part of the company, but that's where we had James redesign the system with what we know as Lucky 13.
Yeah.
So it was just sort of like, I think it was just sort of like it was available, and Jason wanted to bring it back, and he knew Merle, so it all kind of came together.
Just the perfect confluence of different
Yeah.
things.
Yep.
That's always good to hear. Kind of like the things that come about for these almost random coincidences.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So like, Top Secret being this very interesting spy game, definitely unique within the genre. I can't really think of many other spy games that have come out in the same way. What is it to kind of create the spy genre using in like the tabletop role playing sphere?
Well, it's okay. So it's a little bit difficult to do, because usually when you see spy stuff, it's usually a spy, right?
Yeah.
So but everybody plays parties. I mean, you got parties of people, so you have to look to like Mission Impossible and things like that for inspiration. Um, but one of the things you really have to do is you kind of have to create your own world, because um, our world is not. I mean, there's stuff that goes on and there's spying stuff that goes on, but in our world, real spies don't do anything that anybody sees, right? A
Yeah.
real spy is someone who works at a job for 30 years and reports stuff in from time to time. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like
very very boring.
yeah, it's not real exciting. So one of the things you have to do is you have to create a world that all this stuff can take place, which is
Mhm.
why Top Secret takes place a little bit in the future, and we've changed some dynamics of the world a little bit, and we had to create this organization that's separate from the government, because that allows you to bring in other types of agents and stuff.
Mhm.
You obviously can have say a naturally born Chinese citizen
Mhm.
to join up with the American government as a spy. But it becomes harder to do, and you are always working in America's interest if you do that, or whatever country you pick.
Yeah.
But when you create an organization, a clandestine organization that's multinational or non-national, you can do anything and go anywhere, and it opens the board up for you to play all kinds of adventures. So that's kind of the first thing you have to do is you kind of have to decide what world you're going to work in. And then once you have that, you got to do a lot of research on gadgety type stuff. You got to figure out where the technology is with things so you can be a little bit ahead so
Yeah.
that it seems cool, but it's not crazy. And then you have to have a system that will play into that genre. So a system that will let you do, crazy stuff like a spy can, but not too crazy. You can't you can't fly and stuff. We're not
Yeah. No,
superheroes.
yeah, definitely. And one of the really interesting things I liked about Top Secret when I ran it is I had three different players, and they approached the situation in three different spy genres, which I
Okay.
thought was pretty funny. One was more so the Jason Bourne. He went in and started like beating the crap out of some people. The other one
Right.
was seducing one of the officers on the deck of a ship, and then the other one was like using these high tech gadgets to like drill in from the bottom. And I
That's
was like,
perfect.
I know, I was like, it's really cool to see kind of because if you kind of go back to the typical role playing game, which is D&D, and the spy is most likely that rogue, and everyone kind of like sighs when you hear about a sneak check or a stealth check coming up, and you just like let the rogue handle it. But it's really cool to kind of have the aspect that is normally reserved for one character
Mhm.
spread about different characters, and letting them approach that in very unique and diverse ways. But why don't you kind of
Yeah.
describe the system for those who don't know about it?
All right. So let me pull this up so I can speak from the book a little bit here. Um, so the system itself is based off of the whole concept is Lucky 13. Okay. So whenever you roll your dice, your score is always a 13. If there is, I'll get into when that changes because it can change, but unless it changes, it's always 13. So even if something's harder or easier to do, you don't modify that number. That keeps that aspect easy.
Hmm.
It's like, what do I need to do this? 13, right? It's always 13. Now, Game Master can rule that things happen that are successful if it's less than 13 with like a level of complication. So if you rolled a 12, a Game Master might say, all right, yeah, you succeed, but you fall on your face. So you could
Yeah.
do stuff like that if you want to. Um, but for the most part, it's 13. Now, how you adjust for modifiers, and this was James's big thing. He didn't want to be adding numbers or subtracting numbers. He's like, I'm taking math out. The only math you have to do is add.
Yeah.
And so what he did was, and what he said was is that whenever you get a bonus, you step your die up. So if you're rolling a d6, you'd roll a d8 for one step. If you're having a difficulty make it harder, you step your die down. And that can be your characteristic, like your attribute, or it can be your tradecraft, or it can be your asset, depending on how it's stepped up or down.
Yeah.
So those are the three things I just talked about: attributes, tradecraft, and asset die. Those are the three dice you're going to roll, and they're always 4, 6, 8, 10, or 12. And so you're always going to roll three dice. So there's always going to be some either when I say asset, it can be an asset or it can be a situation asset, same can be the same thing.
Yeah.
So I can say, you're gonna hack this computer, so you're gonna need to use intellect. What is it? Technic, I think. Tech. Where the heck did it go? Hold on. I always get these confused because they chose names
Yeah.
that I'm like, what was that again, Jason? Um,
Let's see if I can find it in my
where
box.
the heck is it? God darn it. Yeah. Good thing you're interviewing a guy who's like working on it and everything. Um, I think it's technical. I'm just trying to say it right. Where the heck did it go? But anyway, yeah. So you're gonna roll your technical skill. You're gonna roll your intellect, and your asset might be the computer you're using,
Yeah.
right? So if you're using like your I don't know your watch computer, that might be a D4. It's like, well, I'm using my watch, but it's kind of got some computer, operating, or I'm using a mainframe computer, so I'm gonna use a D12, or something
Yeah.
like that. And then you're gonna roll the dice. Now, if you roll a what's called a blowback, so you don't roll any um you don't roll any explosive dice or whatever, and you roll flavors of this. I'm sorry, I rewind a little bit. So there are different flavors of this. You can either why is this thing doing this?
Yeah, it did that little weird thing where it kind of muted you for a
Give
second
me a
there.
second.
But we still hear you.
Yeah, I don't know why it keeps doing this. It keeps like I'm just talking and it changes my headphones. Anyway, so so there's an easy there's the super easy way to play where you just say anything that rolls its maximum value explodes and you can add on to it. Or you can play a little bit of a harder way where only your tradecraft explodes.
Yeah.
So that's the only die that can explode. And when you do that, though, it starts getting really hard to hit those 13s. It can be hard to hit those 13s. But if you get blowback, that 13 goes up to a 14. If you get blowback again, it goes up to a 15. But then if you get a critical, so you get an exploder, and it goes back down again. So that's really the core concept. That's what makes it super easy, is that you know how to play now.
Yeah, I mean that's everyone watching. That's the system. And one of the cool aspects about like the box is you get the GM screen, and it has the difficulty on it 13, and then you move it with a tracker so your players
Yep.
can see like what the difficulty is as things kind of ramp up and get more difficult because of the blowback and stuff like that. And it's really interesting to kind of see that and see everyone's reaction when they're like, oh, it's now 14 or 15.
Techint. That's it. It's not Technit. I was just trying to pronounce it right. Techint. So I'm sorry. So the trade crafts are Humanit, Signet, Techint, and Combat.
Excellent. Yeah, and I'll actually pull out the top secret GM screen right here.
Yep.
So yeah, if you see this, you have like the lucky 13 right there, and you have a little plastic piece which goes over here, which kind of ramps up, showing the difficulty, which is super cool. Definitely my players enjoyed it.
It's right in the middle, so everybody can see it. They see where you are, or where they are.
Yeah, I thought that was very clever.
Yeah. Jason's a clever dude. He's got good design skills. It's
is.
funny too. Like if you look at the character sheet, it has like a coffee stain on it.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And a thing paper clip to it. It's actually like your character sheet is a file. It's like a case file. The agent name where your picture would go, you can overlay a picture over top of it's a Polaroid attached to it.
Yeah, these are the ones from like the box.
Oh, that's your play. Okay, so that's your play, like kind of your play pad. So what you can do is you can set your dice on the different stats. So you just pick up the die for the stat. You don't have to read it. You can pick it up. You don't need that. It makes it fun and pretty easy to play with, but it's not necessary.
Yeah. They just did a good job with kind of the just the look of everything. It's really cool, and people can kind of see the character sheet. Very much looks like this document of a secret agent that you can have. And of course, it comes with a scenario, which is amazing. And the reason why I'm ruffling through all these papers is because I left all the printouts for that scenario.
So you got the White Queen came with that. And the White Queen was, I think it was primarily written by Chad Parrish. And Chad Parrish he runs the Dead Game Society podcast, and huge top secret fan, very good friends with Jason and James and me too. Chad's a good dude.
And like one of my favorite things about this game is the when you're like setting up a mission or anything like that, it is so easy to get the props from online. You just go to Google Maps and you print out a picture of just like an apartment, and you're like, this is their holdout and stuff like that. And there's lots of different resources to really bring the players into it. It's definitely one of my favorites, and I would be very curious to see how it works in kind of a long-term campaign. So how does it, like, how many campaigns have you seen like extend through several sessions, and what does that look like, and what stories are you telling with these?
Okay, so I have not seen any big campaigns personally.
Mm-hmm.
I do have we do have a one. There's a guy. His name is, oh man, what the heck is his name? Oh, I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's doing some work with.
Oh, we lost you again for a little bit. Yeah. So how's everyone else doing? Good. I
Like,
think we got you
hello.
back. Yeah, there we
Oh,
go. We
sorry.
got you
Oh
back.
my God, what is going on? And I have crazy good internet, like ridiculously good internet. So
Yeah, I
weird.
think the question is, where's your dog?
No, 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 no. He's fine. He's asleep. Yeah. No, so no, so we haven't seen any big game, like any big long games running, other than this one guy who's been. I mean, I know there's people playing it because people write in and they
Yeah.
people have been uploading stuff. We have a a Facebook page, a Facebook group where people upload files. There's a lot of files in there,
Ooh,
and we're actually going to start implementing some of that stuff in our. We're going to we've already started contact the people who've uploaded cool stuff and say, hey, would you like us to put that in the next version of this? Like, it's cool,
nice.
we like it, we'd like to use it if you're cool.
Yeah.
But there's one guy who's been like, he has been documenting everything. Like, he documents all the roles and all this stuff going on, and he's been doing a bunch of math and like saying, I ran this session. This is how often people succeeded and how often they
Yeah.
failed, and
Wow.
it's like, wow, yeah. So he's what we call our super fan, but he's
Yeah.
working on a book for us right now. Jason was like, you know what, you love this game so much, we want to recruit you to do some work. So he's doing one of our books for us.
Oh, that is awesome to hear. So there's going to be more.
Oh my God, yeah. All right, so I'm working on Jason and I primarily are working on the next adventure. It was written by an author named Aaron Rosenberg.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rosenberg he writes a lot. He writes a bunch of fiction books, but he's also does some role playing stuff. He wrote this adventure called Forged with Fire, and I'm an engineer for by trade, and so I designed the base that they're in. And Jason was like, "Yeah, I see it. I see it being like I want you to model it after the Apple building." And I was like, I'm not thinking about it. I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, sure, sure." He's like, I even have the plans of it because they posted them online. I'm like, "All right, fine, fine." So he said, of course it's not gonna be the Apple building, but he's like, but I want it to be that size, that scale. I was like, all right, yeah, okay, that's fine, I can do that. So I start working on it, and I'm like, oh my God, this building is humongous. It's like a stadium, right? And so I've been spending a lot of time working on that, but almost done. And it's basically a big spy base, and it's
Nice.
humongous spy base. And there's like, you got like an upper level, and then you got like a sub level, and then like a sub level, and there's all kinds of cool like neat rooms and stuff. And the adventure comes with like training scenarios, so you can actually you can level up your character a little bit in it if you do some of the training scenarios in it.
Nice.
It's a really cool adventure. That's our next thing. And then we have two more in like lesser stages of development. There is another company, and I can't remember the name of the company. I'll have it by the end of the interview.
Yeah.
But they have two modules out that they've put out. I think one of them's called Arctic Freeze. They're both like kind of winter themed, Arctic Freeze and something else. Um, but they New Comet Games. They have two adventures, and they're chunky. They're big books.
Oh, really?
So they've got two adventures out for that. Um, there's the White Queen, which it comes with. We've got a guy working on an asset book. I think there's some what we're calling Black Ops stuff that's in the works. And Black Ops is very low key. There's not going to be any art in it. It's not going to be highly developed. It's literally just going to be like quick adventures. So like maybe 2-3 pages. It's an adventure
Nice.
kind of thing. So it's like, like, and the game master can go wherever they want with it. So if they want to like turn it into a big adventure, they can. It's easy. They've been given the main nut of the whole thing, and they just
Yeah.
got to plant that tree, or they can just run that one bit. That's fine too. So yeah, there's a lot going on for it. There's also I think I can say this because people have registered for events at TotalCon.
Yes, yes, yes.
So being that they've registered for events and it's kind of, I guess I'm gonna say it's out, and if it's not, I guess I'll get in trouble, whatever. But Merle's in the process of working on Hacknoia, which, if you ever read Knights of the Dinner Table,
Hmm.
they played a parody game. Jolly Blackburn had made up this parody game of Top Secret because he liked Top Secret,
Hmm.
called Hacknoia, that they played. Well, we're coming out with the role playing game Hacknoia, which is a parody of Top Secret,
Oh my gosh, that
and
sounds awesome.
it's got the blessing. Jolly Blackburn's working on it, so it's going to have all the Hacknoia art in it, all the Knights of the Dinner Table Hacknoia art, and
Oh.
so it's an official licensed Knights of the Dinner Table ish spinoff and Top Secret spinoff, and it's basically toon version, like a toonish version of Top Secret.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
amazing. So all this stuff is coming out in 2020 or maybe 2021.
Well, Forge of Fire is coming out this year.
Hmm.
It was just, we're in just December 15th,
Hmm.
but our artist, which is, this is a famous, this is a was a popular story.
Yeah.
Our artist kind of did not come through, so we're we're doing the art ourselves. We found another way to get it done.
That's good to
So
hear.
we wanted to put it off on hold. So because our policy is we don't launch a Kickstarter unless the thing is basically done.
Yeah, that's a good
Right.
policy because I've seen
Right.
Kickstarters go all the way.
Right. And there's just, we're like, our position is we don't want people waiting, for something that's unpredictable. If we get the game basically finished and then we put it to a Kickstarter, the only things that we'll have to do is like anything that we did I don't know, a stretch goal for,
Yeah.
or maybe some like just minor layout type stuff, and getting stuff ready for the printer and stuff and such. So yeah, we put it off. We're gonna relaunch it again soon. We're just trying to get the art finished, and it's getting there. The art's getting close. So as soon
Yeah.
as the art's done, we'll probably launch that Kickstarter, and Forge with Fire will because as soon as the Kickstarter's done, Forge of Fire will basically be ready to go. So we'll
Oh,
send it
that's
off
good
to
to
the
hear.
printers, and then it only takes what, I don't know, however long it takes to China, to
Yeah,
send
to print and have it come
code
overseas.
and whatever.
A
I don't
whole
know.
thing with that.
Right. So, and we try and avoid like the holidays and because we looked into that. We're like, we don't want to do it this month because they go on holiday they go on holiday. I think they take like a month off. There's like, I forget when it is, but it's like halfway through December or something. Just forget about it for a month. Nothing happens.
Yeah, it's tough. That
So,
whole thing.
yep. So we're coming out with that this year. I think the other two, I can't speak to the other two modules because I don't know what stage they're in yet.
Yeah.
We're um we're ramping up all of our project management stuff, and getting all the stuff in timelines. But those two are not in there yet. But Hacknoia is, I want to say that probably going to be, don't quote me on this, but probably looking at like June-ish time frame, sometime in the summer. Sometime in the summer.
Nice. So
Uh,
definite or not? I'm not obviously not definitely things happen, but hopefully Gen Con.
Maybe,
Maybe,
maybe. I
hopefully.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to make any promises on that because
Yeah.
while I know it's in its writing stage right now, it just, you never know. I
Yeah,
mean,
the
like I
things
said,
always happen. Like,
right, right. But that's kind of our goal. Our goal would be to get that done. Is to get that done this summer at some point. And then I'm not sure what Jason wants to do, whether he wants to kickstart it or not. I would probably, I'm going to assume yes. I mean,
yeah.
with Merle and Jolly Blackburn's name on it,
Oh,
probably good.
it'll be
Yeah,
great.
probably
Yeah.
good, probably a good thing to kickstart, and it'll be cool. It's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be goofy. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to see. Merle's gonna run a very early like cut of it up at Total Con. He's running 2 games of it.
Oh,
Matter of fact, he's doing a it's it's a Scooby Doo. Yeah, he's basically, because because the theme of the convention is Saturday morning cartoons.
mhm.
Our room, so we have our own room at Total Con. So TSR has like a 5 table room.
Ooh.
Um, I I told everybody, look, hey, our main event this year. Normally, our main event's in the evening, but our main event this year is Saturday morning because it's Saturday morning cartoons. We're doing it with the con. So anybody who's running an event Saturday morning, at 8 a.m. has to do a cartoon, right? It can be
Yeah.
any game. I don't care what game you run, but it's got to be cartoon themed, like Scooby Doo or something. So he's doing Hacknoya with Scooby Doo.
Oh, that sounds awesome. And people can sign up for this at TotalCon or.
At TotalCon, yeah, yeah. I hope there's seats left because the things were selling out really
Oh,
fast.
I bet.
Um,
Yeah, Resident
my
Moon's reminding me I should go to TotalCon.
I think my I think my Johnny Quest game is all but sold out. So I'm using Top Secret to do Johnny Quest
Mm-hmm.
because I
Nice.
thought, oh, Top Secret Johnny Quest, that'll be perfect, right? So I'm running Johnny Quest Top Secret, and I'm running I took Lucky 13,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a Top Secret game, but it's using the engine, um, but it's a World War II,
Mm-hmm.
sort of slightly alternate history. Uh, and you're going to Berlin because Hitler has captured the three main scientists, Einstein, God, von Braun. You want to get him too, and I don't know another one. I can't remember. I have them written down. But he's captured three of the main scientists, and he has managed to make a bomb. And you've got to go there and get it before, because he got it before us.
Yeah.
So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to go to Berlin and stop the bomb. Stop the bomb.
Stop it. Oh,
Right.
that sounds
So
awesome.
that's going to be a fun adventure. It's going to be fun. And then we also have another product which is not top secret. So we actually have something we're working on that's not top secret.
Ooh.
Uh,
This.
it actually we have two things. Damn it, we have two things. All right, so I have my game Cube of Death, which was
Mhm.
we had launched in October, but we did a really poor job of getting the word out, and our launch was very weak. Had a well, it wasn't October, it was August. It was in August, and I had a chain of events that screwed me up right before the launch, and so it messed up my whole launch strategy. My computer died like the Monday before. My launch was on
Oh
a Friday,
man.
or my launch was on a Monday, and my computer died on a Friday, and it was dead, and I was like, and I had backed everything up, but like I was at a loss, right? And I still had like the video to finish up. So I had to finish the video on a lesser laptop that I had, which took me
Uh,
forever. And it ate up all of my like coordination time to get the launch out. But we launched anyway, which was a mistake. I should have just put it off. But anyway, we're gonna relaunch that. But that's a trivia card game. Um, it's a geek trivia card game, but it's also a role playing game. So you actually role play, and it's all random. It's a randomized dungeon,
yeah.
and you defeat encounters, monsters, traps, hazards by answering trivia questions. And then you have a character that can take damage. So if you get the question wrong, you take a d6 of damage. If you get it right, you get to go pass through the room. And if it's a hard question, because you have two choices usually, almost always have two choices. If you take the harder question, you get that right, you get the magic item that's on that card. And then you get to use that magic item to like help you answer questions or beat
We
monsters.
should play that on the show. That sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
we could. It's a fun. Where is it? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Where is it? Hold on. Give me 1 second here. Here. So this is a prototype I have.
Yeah.
That's one of the boxes. And then
Oh,
third questions. And they come out like that. And
nice.
my thing has changed
Yeah, a
yet
little
again.
bit.
I don't know why it just won't stay. My headphones won't stay on. All right. So I'll show you real quick. These are the randomized adventure cards.
Nice.
So like you pull out this adventure and it's just random. I just flip it over and
Yeah.
it'll ask you, like, it'll tell you what it is. Like, this is a troll. Do you want a basic question to rush the troll and run past it, or an advanced question to kill the troll and loot the body? And if you were to answer the second one, you would get a potion of health and instantly restore 3 points of
All
life.
right, give me a basic question. Come on, let's
Okay.
do that. Let's test me real quick.
You want an easy question, a medium question, or a hard question?
Let's go medium.
Medium. All right.
All right, come on. I got this.
All right. Now the beauty of this is each one of these cards gives you, for the medium questions, give you three categories. We're gonna go. Let me do. All right, I'll do this one. This, you got to know one of these. You want D&D, Monopoly, or Harry Potter?
Oh man. When we talk about D&D, what editions are we discussing here?
This one is somewhat of a history question.
Ooh, okay. So then Harry Potter. Harry Potter will
Harry
be.
Potter. Okay. Who is the founder of House Slytherin?
Oh my gosh. Resident Moon, help me out here.
Well, I'm sure they know.
I know, right? Salazar Slytherin. Thank
There
you,
you go.
Resident Moon.
Salazar Slytherin. There you go. Right.
What was the D&D question?
Uh, who who revised and expanded the 5 box sets, the basic rules, expert rules, companion rules, master rules, and immortal rules?
Oh snap! Yeah, Oh man,
That'd be Frank Mincer.
yeah,
Frank is a
my.
but Frank is a buddy of mine, so I put him in the game.
Oh, that's
Make
fair.
sure he's in
Yeah,
there.
my
Yeah.
first venture in the D&D was actually fourth edition.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this like I said, this was a history question. This goes way back.
Yeah, that
Um,
sounds really cool, and I definitely want to have that on the show. I just looked at the Kickstarter. Definitely looks cool. I love the box and everything like that.
yeah.
So we have about 10 minutes before
Okay.
we sign off, and then kind of get our coffees and suit up
Sounds
for
good.
our short mission. But you were talking about another game other than
Oh,
Cube of
yeah.
Death.
Well, there's a game called The Hunt. Now, the original Hunt came out in 91.
Mm-hmm.
And it is I don't say this negatively because I like the game. It's kind of dated though, but it's like old Grapnar rules, like
Yeah.
it's very very crunchy and
Mm-hmm.
very game of its time. But it's a fantastic game. It's a lot of fun. It's sort of like it's what they call a hybrid. So it's part skirmish, part role playing game. So you
Okay.
have a character and you have stats and everything like that. And you can play the character over and over again if you want to,
Mm-hmm.
but it has to be played on a board. So a board has to be involved.
Yeah.
And you basically, have you seen the old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Running Man?
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of like cyberpunk Running Man. So instead of it being like just these 3 prisoners, you're actually playing hunters. So you're actually playing the guy with the chainsaw or
Yeah.
or whatever, and you're running around killing prisoners. You're killing each other, and then they also have these like what they call foxes, which are they're like hunters that are better than you. And
Mm-hmm.
usually like 1 or 2 of those will enter, and it's just a free for all. And the game is very tongue in cheek in that, I mean, it's serious and it's it's like zany, like you're shooting each other and stuff.
Yeah.
But the zaniness comes in where you win by points, not by living. Now, living gives you points, but
Mm-hmm.
that's the points are how you win. So I've had people die and win the game.
Oh, interesting.
It's nutty. Yeah. Actually, it's usually it's not uncommon for you to die and win the game, because usually to win the game you got to get points. To get points, you have to put yourself in danger's way.
Yeah.
Putting yourself in danger's way gives you points. You actually lose points if you like hide and stuff. So if you're like if you don't like engage and you're like if you try and can't like campers will start losing points every round because you're no fun to watch.
Yeah.
The audience is going boo because there's an audience watching you while you're doing this. So
that sounds really interesting.
I mean, you could do that in real life, but not. I mean, it's that's played out.
It's not a fun thing to do.
We've been running that at conventions, and people have been having a blast with it. But I have a beta version, which again I'm running at TotalCon this year.
Mm-hmm.
I have made it a 2020 a modern. It's a very modern game now. It's very modern. So it's very fast and very very fast paced. Very very slick. I took every instance that was a slowdown, like a speed bump, and remove the speed bump. So instead of writing points down, I give you poker chips. You get poker chips. So poker chips, whatever that poker chip value is, at the end of the game, you count those up. The person with most points wins. So you don't have to write anything down. Blah blah blah.
That's
blah,
good. Yeah, I like that.
When you attack, instead of like rolling dice and adding them together, it's just successes. So you count your successes. So you're not adding like 6 plus 5 is 11, and then I got 3 for this and 1 for that.
Yeah, all the modifiers.
You'll roll dice and go 3 of them were successes. 3. That's it. I mean, it's that simple. And if armor is like 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
so it's all. If you can count to 10, you can play this at the highest level. So,
yes, that's the game for.
And it's as brutal as ever, and it's gonna be a blast. I really honestly can't wait to run this again at TotalCon.
How many times are you running at TotalCon?
I'm running it twice. Because I'm running that and I'm running 2 top secret games.
Yeah.
and I run the room, so I organize the room. So I can't do more than that. That's just too much. I mean, like if I'd run games all weekend, except for the fact that if anybody has a problem with anything, a game master
Yeah,
doesn't
you always need
show
to be.
up,
Yeah,
that's me. I got to take care of that. So
yeah,
I'm kind of like,
definitely.
and plus we have some special events that we're doing that are like outside of official events. Like we
Mm,
have a game school event that we're recording while we're there. We have
nice.
the 40th anniversary party that we're for Top Secret's going to be there, the official 40th anniversary party. Um, we've got we're going to do a little tiny museum, a little tiny Top Secret museum. We're going to do oh yeah, I'm running Cuba Death at the bar, so it's pick me up games. So
Nice.
I got a spot reserved in the bar one Saturday night for like an hour and a half, where I'm just gonna stand there and drink beer and play Cuba Death with anyone who shows up and do. They don't even have to play. We can just do trivia questions. I don't care. I'm gonna hang out and let them do whatever. And if they want to buy me beer, that's cool too. So if you're watching and you're a Total Con and you want to buy me beer and play Cuba Death, I will drink the beer.
Yeah, if you get anything from this episode, just buy Peter beer. He
Love
will
beer.
be at Total Con.
Yummy
Buy
beer.
him beer.
Yes. So that's what we got going on, and we of course we have things I can't talk about. That's always the case, but we do have some stuff that I can't talk about that
Oh,
is really cool.
and you're teasing me with it.
But one thing at a time. I mean, oh my God, we're here with stuff, and it's just I'm like my eyes are spinning,
I
keeping it
bet
going.
it's a lot to manage and going on, but it sounds like a
Mhm.
lot of exciting stuff on the horizon for
Yeah,
TSR.
yeah. As Willie would say, stay tuned. Stay tuned, Miss Moneypenny.
There we go.
You've seen nothing yet.
All right, to send us off, I'm gonna make a special
Mhm.
request. But
Sure.
first, I have to. I know Resident Moon had an inside joke that you might very much appreciate. Let me go find that again.
All right.
They said you can't fly, but you can accidentally get exposed to a ton of coke and feel like you're flying.
Okay.
They said you'd get that reference, so I wanted to make sure that was passed along.
Thank you.
And then, so for the final thing, I'm gonna ask much of you.
Okay.
I was hoping you could give send-offs, like a short little goodbye or whatever, using the voice or kind of persona of the three kind of most famous spies. So 007, Ethan Hunt, and Jason Bourne.
Oh my God. Okay, I can try this. Let's
There we
see.
go. Let's do this.
All right. We'd like to thank you for watching this episode. My friend Ethan over here. Hey man, what's up? I really like this show and it was amazing. And my girlfriend Kate, she's watching too. And then let's see. Matt Damon is so this was a good show. I liked it. It was good talking to you all. Hope to see you again.
Yes.
That's the best I can do.
Yeah, I was just expecting like Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much. If you were curious about any of these games, and you should be, because not only should you be buying Peter some beer, but you should also be picking up Top Secret and looking out for all the Kickstarters that are coming up. Please go to tsrgames.com. That is on the links to your right. If you are watching live, and on YouTube, you'll find it right below. Click that link, buy the game. Amazing. And if you need a little bit more convincing, stick around or check out the next episode where we will do a quick little one-shot.
And if you
Yes.
can make it to Total Con, you should go. The
Yes.
official 40th anniversary of Top Secret. Merle's going to be there. Alan's going to be there. Get your stuff signed. There's going to be the TSR has their own rooms. TSR games going on all weekend long. You'll be up to your ears in TSR.
So much spycraft. If you want to be a
Yes.
spy, this is it. This is your time.
Yes.
This is a recruiting tool.
Yes.
All right, everyone. We'll see you guys in a little bit, and you can also check out the Total Con link on the side here and on the bottom. So go. Peace out, everyone.